Hi class, welcome to week 7, your weekly webinar. Hope you didn't miss me too much last week, but I felt one, you were busy working on your week 6 papers and that you had a good handle on it. So we're at the final week for international strategy papers. I hope you found this 3-week group project interesting. We're going to talk a little bit about tonight some tips that I've got for your final week, what I'm looking for, kind of the tone of the paper. But I want to add that for weeks 5 and 6, it's clear that you've put a lot of work into your papers. I hope you heed the comments. There's always room for improvement, but it's been very good, and I've really enjoyed reading your papers and seeing your work and your progress. So please keep it up. So you have an option. You can watch me for the next 5 minutes, or we can switch to the other screen. So I suggest we switch to the other screen. Bingo. So I just get points for having the cool 7 in my graphic. Here's what we're going to talk about tonight. So I wanted to start with what I've seen so far in your first 2 international strategy projects, and hopefully give you the opportunity to continue to improve your work and improve your grades. So here's what I observed. The best papers so far have reflected that those groups have demonstrated that they coordinate well, that they have a communication plan, and that they have a strategy, and that they think it through as a group what they want their paper to say. It doesn't look like goulash. In other words, it's not different parts. It has a common theme. It has threads that go through different parts. And I'm not saying I can't always tell the different writers or the different writing styles. I can, but the flow is consistent, and that's very important. I think it's important as well that each group has clear responsibilities for its members. I talked 2 weeks ago about who is the final person on the keyboard, probably the one who's submitting the paper. But what are the responsibilities that go with that? Are you making final edits and checks? Are you trying to throw in that flow so those threads and those themes are seen throughout the paper? So have your responsibilities clearly. Who has the responsibility for proofreading? I will be honest, I've seen a lack of standardization on both proofreading as well as APA standards. So for this final paper, it has to be an APA. So they all have to be an APA. So again, 2 weeks ago, I've noted the common challenges. No running header continues to be a big one, but also even citations, how your work is sourced, and even some minor bibliography errors. So I'm not saying it's been horrible, but there is room for improvement. So timelines, I'm not talking for submission timeline. That should be your final timeline, frankly. I'm talking when you have your drafts done, that's tied into your communication strategy, when you're going to communicate, the proofread plan, the final read and review, and also don't forget the research part. So I want to add on that as well. So you have to source your scholarly and reliable, i.e. Bloomberg, non-scholarly sources. But it's also important how you use those sources. So in some papers, I've seen one source be used for an entire page and then cited in that one page, say 8, 9, 10 times. That can actually be a distraction for the reader and doesn't show that you've really done a depth of research that for this course I anticipate. So please keep that in mind. And then I wanted to add the issue on proofreading. Again, please proofread, proofread, proofread. It's important that you proofread your own work before submission, but I also suggest highly that there is a group proofreader at least once and probably twice for this paper. I think you all know from my comments that the biggest issue I'm looking for is critical analysis. I don't have to agree with your analysis. As a matter of fact, in many cases, I may not, and that's fine. I'm looking for you applying the models that we've been studying throughout this course, and your impressions and strong recommendations. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And frankly, graphs and charts have not had a big play on most of the week 5 and 6 group papers yet. There are exceptions to that. So again, you can add those as an appendix, cite those papers in the work. And in many cases, I think particularly for this week 7 task, it's really going to make your paper stronger, particularly as we're talking financials, if you can back that up with graphs and charts. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. So I do have all of the week 6 papers in hand. I will complete grading those within the next probably 2 work days, 3 at the most. And I look forward to that. So again, week 5 papers were really strong. Week 6, I have done a preliminary precursory look, and they're also very strong. So let's talk about week 7 a little bit and what the requirements and the expectations are. So again, no page restrictions, and I do get a lot of questions on what does that really mean, and it's just that. I'd like you to put yourself in the roles of being consultants for your client company, and they're probably not going to have a page restriction on you either. There's probably a right amount, but I'm going to let you figure that out among the group. If you can make your case in a small amount of pages, whatever that is, that's up to you. I do hope that you apply the models that we've been studying again. So it can be 5 forces, it can be SWOT analysis, it can be resources, but use the models. And I would also say your analysis should be tied and linked to a model. Otherwise, it's just your opinion. So it can be rated to a comparative analysis, which is expected for this paper. But I really want you to see and apply the lessons learned that we've already been studying for the first 6 weeks. It's extremely important. You'll see in the outline of the paper and the objectives this week, the focus on the strategic fit and the objectives on what for your client. I really want to see you address the strategic fit and why. What does that mean to have a strategic fit? It's going to require a little in-depth research on the whole merger and acquisition front. So really take a look at that. So it's also noted that financial rationale in the past, and I have personally seen this, has generally been the least regarded or thought through in many cases in mergers and acquisitions. So I'll put myself in the seat of being your client in this case, and will tell you I am looking for a hard financial rationale on why I should go forward with a merger and acquisition. So you have to sell me. You have to make the case. Make a compelling case. The only factor does not have to be the financial rationale, but you have to show that this will be part of the strategic fit for my firm. So please, please give that some serious thought. Make a compelling case. As always, if you've got any further questions on that, you're welcome to contact me via email, phone, or online in the Ask the Professor section. So a couple of administrative items before we finish tonight. I said it was going to be a quick one. It'll be 10 minutes. Tomorrow, Friday, May 19th, is the final day to withdraw from the course. So if anyone's thinking about that, there is a course announcement, but tomorrow is it. So I hope you read this tonight or Friday, but I also hope everyone now at week 7 will continue to go forward. Submission of your papers. Yes, the requirement is in PDF. Many groups are submitting both PDF and Word, and I appreciate that while not required, but if you do submit a Word copy, I will generally provide comments and track changes. That again, that's not a requirement, and your grade's not impacted by if you submit in Word or not. That's not a problem, but it just provides another means for more detailed feedback. So if you have a PDF only and you've missed a comma or a quotation mark, I may note that, I may not, but it certainly gives you a formative record if you have it in track changes. Again, that's totally up to you. Take a look at that. Okay, you've got a busy week. We're at week 7. This is not the time to get lazy. We don't have any lazy pups in here. We have hard workers. 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. You have 4 weeks left, actually less than 4 weeks, and you're completed. So please hang in there. I look forward to your discussions online. I look forward to reading your papers. I'll get you your week 6 back quickly. If you've got any questions, contact me. I'm looking for critical research. I'm looking for a compelling analysis and make a financial case. Got it? That's what I'm looking for this week. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.